What if I can show you a way to help increase the margins in your business and you can actually get it done in the next few hours to even 24 hours? Would you be interested? I mean, you've already done the work of getting people to your online store. They're spending money with you. So let's talk about how to increase that bottom line and put more money in your pocket. You know, I'm a big believer of you making more money so that you can live your dream. Because guess what? Dreams cost money, right? Whether it's serving your sick neighbor to buy food, groceries, they cost more money, right? Whether it's to serve at the local shelter, you got to have gas money to get there or transportation to be able to get there. And so it's my goal, it's my mission to help you to be able to create that money, that income to help you serve and live the life that you've always dreamt about. So this month, May, what we're in right now, we're going to make the whole May margin month. How's that? Margin month, May. Let's do it. Ways to help you increase the margins, the money that you're actually putting into your pocket. And I want to kick it off today with our guest expert who has been doing this, I believe he said for 30 years. I know, crazy, right? And a little embarrassing, I'll tell you right now, I actually didn't even know who he really was until about 3 years ago. And then over the last 3 years, I've gotten to know him. He's a good friend. And I am so grateful that he was able to spend the time with us today to talk about this. So before we dive into this, I need to set this up. All right. You know that I talk a lot about physical product. I am so passionate about it. I feel that starting and selling physical products online is the best way to get your feet in, get started, scale your business, and get going in the online space. I know I work with a lot of introverts who don't want their face all over online. They don't want to build Instagram accounts or be Instagram famous. Or I have other people who are super passionate about selling products online, like a physical type product, because they know in general, people buy physical products more than they buy digital products. Okay. So that kind of is a segue into what I'm going to talk about. Physical products. I remember and think about like the last time that you gave a physical product to someone. I gave a gift to my daughter Bridges, and it was a couple of years ago, and she started crying. I'll tell you what, that was an addictive feeling. She was so excited to receive that gift. And I remember, I want to do that again. I want to do that again. And so physical product is, I don't like to use the word easier, but I feel like it is. People are buying physical products because they can touch it, they can feel it, they can gift it, and they can see the emotion and the expression on other people's faces. So I think leading with a physical product wins, and I love it. Then the next step to help increase your margin is to add a digital piece to the product that you are selling. So, for an example, let's say you sell glitter. Wendy Kessel, our friend Wendy Kessel, sells glitter, right? I'm just using her as an example because I was talking to her about this a couple of weeks ago. And I was like, Wendy, what if you take your glitter and then you sold a digital download, a PDF, a booklet, an ebook, something like that, that told people what they could do with their glitter or how they could take their glitter creations and sell them at craft shows better. You could sell it for $10. You could sell it for $50, $20, whatever it is. She could test it to see what price that would fit in there. Then she would instantly increase her bottom line, being able to put more money in her pocket. Yes, of course, but also to be able to serve her customers at such a higher level. Because when they get this glitter, they're super excited, but maybe they don't know what to do with it. Maybe they've gone on to Pinterest and it feels like this black hole and people are telling them a bajillion different things, but yet they've bought from Wendy, they've pulled out their money and bought from Wendy. They're going to trust Wendy even more. And so if she offers a digital download, it doesn't cost her any extra for product. Maybe it costs her to develop it, to create it, right? But the one-time fee. And then she can go on and add it in as upsells or downsells or an additional sell to help her to create more of that money to put it in her pocket so that she can live her dream. So that's what I want to focus on in the month of May is your margins. So our first guest to kick this off is a guy named Dean Graziosi. Now, you may have heard him. Remember, I didn't 3 years ago. So if you didn't, I am really excited for you to get to know him and what he has been doing, what his life mission has been doing. It's helping people to get the knowledge that they have out of their brain and helping serve customers at such a higher level. And so I thought, okay, we got these physical products that you're selling, right? Then let's bring in Dean to talk about how to add a digital product. And together, it's the perfect world. So we're going to kick it off. I'm going to dive into what Dean has. And then at the end, I'll do my top 10 takeaways from Dean. And then make sure you're tuning in for this entire month because we're dedicating that to you making more money and putting that in your pocket where it belongs. I say that over and over. I feel like a broken record, but I truly want you to be able to do that because I know you're going to do good things with the money. So I'm here. I'm here for you. I'm showing up for you, and I'm going to help you to be able to do that. So let's dive into today's podcast episode with Dean Graziosi. Okay, so Dean, you're here. And first off, I feel so blessed that I get to spend time with you today because you have something that everybody listening needs to hear. And you, I think, are the best to teach it, especially right now and for what they need. But before we get started with that, will you just give everybody a brief background as to why you are the absolute best to teach this?
For sure. And first off, it's so great to be with you. You know, Alison, I have to tell you, before we met in Puerto Rico a couple of years ago, I had seen you, but I didn't know who you were. And it's been a pleasure to get to know you and knowing my wife knows you and we get to see what you do under the hood of like business and knowing how much you truly care about the people you serve. It really makes it easy to align and be here. So just want to say thank you for what you're giving to the world. Listen, these are the most crazy, uncertain times in history. I mean, I've been on this earth 52 years. I've never seen anything like it, but it's also a time to thrive if you have the right people supporting you and you do that in such a big way. So for everybody listening today, you're in the right spot. Secondly, I'm here to serve. So take what serves you, throw the rest away. I know that there's a million options and a million podcasts, but you're with us. I don't take it lightly. So let's rock the house.
Woohoo. Awesome. Okay.
So yeah, I'll share a little bit. I'll share a little bit about my background, but just enough so you understand. I won't go through the whole history of what happened in second grade and then ninth and then 12th. But I will say this. I know what it's like to know there's more of you. You want to be the woman or the man God meant you to be. You know you have more potential. You know you could start the business, or you know it's time to scale the business, or you know it's time to get bigger margins. It's time to go to that next level, but you're scared. We feel like imposters. Sometimes your husband sitting right next to you, or your wife, don't feel that what you're doing is like the thing. It seems crazy. It seems outlandish to other people. It seems like such a big market. And I just want to tell you, I felt all those. For me, I didn't go past high school because I had dyslexia really bad, and no one had money in my family. So college wasn't even an option. I barely got out of high school. But I just know, and maybe some of you can relate to this, and you don't have to come from a horrible background, but I just knew. I watched my mom and dad work really hard. They were divorced since I was 3, but both of them worked really hard. My mom cleaned houses, cut hair, and painted houses. My dad worked on cars. They came home super late. No matter what house I was at, they came home tired. They came home dirty, and they struggled financially their whole life. And they struggled finding peace because they never had time to work on themselves because they were so busy trying to chase the dollar to just cover stuff. And a lot of times it didn't. We got evicted from our trailer park. I mean, it didn't work, even though they were amazing people who worked hard, Alison. So we all have a reason. If you're listening to Alison, you have your own reason why you want to go from where you are to another level. For me, it was deeper than that. I wanted to not replicate what my parents did. Through the blessing of the universe, God, whatever you believe, I decided to find different habits, try different things. And that's when I got called the dreamer, the crazy one. That's when my inner self-doubt's like, you're not that smart. What do you think you're doing? Do what everybody else does. Do what your family did. But here's what I also know. I know what it's like to be on the other side of that, to get momentum, I started a collision repair shop and fixed cars and started buying and selling real estate with no money down in my early 20s. Now it's got nothing to do with the business I'm in now. But that made me evolve into wanting to share that with other people, wanting to show people that they don't have to be stuck in their old circumstances. They don't have to do what other people do, that they can break away from feeling like an imposter or break away from knowing, listen, I've been blessed to watch my mom and other amazing women in my life and business, watching my own wife and plus people I've helped to go from, maybe this is the role I should be doing. I should be the good wife or the good mom or the good leader in the community. But knowing you have more to give the world, knowing that you have more to share, that you could balance it all if you just had the right guidance, the right confidence, the right mentor, the right capabilities. Man, I've just watched, and it could be men and women, but I've just watched. I mean, especially our current brand is like 64% women. So we get to see so many of these stories where women get to unleash and their full potential comes out and there's no stopping them. I talk to my wife all the time. Here in America, what would fix our world is an amazing woman president. Like, no joke. We're hoping for that, right? But I got off of my whole vision or my whole past story, what Alison asked. And basically, I want to say, I know what it's like to want more. I know what it's like to feel a little envious. I know what it's like to feel scared. I know what it's like to feel fearful that you're going to let people down or you're going to prove to them that it wouldn't work. But I also know when you gain the capabilities and you focus on taking uncomfortable, courageous action, no matter what. Courage isn't moving forward in the absence of fear. Courage is moving forward and you're still scared to death. And how do you do that? You learn from people who've already been there. You focus on where you really want to go, not where you've been. You can't go forward, looking in your rearview mirror. And we just take one little step at a time until you get that first sale or 20th sale, or you hire the first person, or it becomes a process and you got momentum. Like, we just must keep pushing forward. Because the last thing I'll say, Alison, I didn't say much about my life. I feel blessed that from that scared kid with dyslexia, I went on to be a multiple New York Times bestselling author. I've started over 13 companies. I've had more success than I could have ever imagined possible. I'm married to the love of my life. I have 3 amazing children. I'm in a place right now where, with the world being so uncertain, I want to scream from mountaintops and do what I can to empower people with the capabilities to rid uncertainty, because I think the only way things are going to get back to normal is if we all step up and become role models and leaders. And I don't think there's a better time for us to do that. So anyway, I hope that helped, Alison.
No, it's so good. And I love that you said that, because my background, Dean, I didn't take any official business class in college. I was a junior high school teacher.
Oh, and wow.
So me going into business, I did everything scared. And I'm still scared. I'm still uncomfortable. I still push that because that's where I know growth happens. And I think that is where most people stop. Because
can I tell you something? I'll tell you something, Alison. Thank you for saying that. But I want to share with everybody right now. Hear this. I'm not saying this to brag, but I've had more success than I could have ever imagined possible. I get to do things I didn't know were possible. I get to supply things for my family I didn't know was possible. I had the freedom and control to be the best, to work on me so I could be a better husband, better father, better leader. But I'm still scared all the time. That scared little boy who had dyslexia, whose 7th grade teacher, Miss Thompson, used to tell me I was dumb and you got to sound it out. And I felt like I always hid in school because I felt dumb. And I had some of the most amazing teachers in the world too. Mrs. Manisi is the one that helped me come out of my shell. So not dogging teachers, I'm just dogging Miss Thompson, right? But I share that because I'm still scared in so many levels, going to that next level, conquering bigger things. But that's when you feel alive. And that's the opportunity to grow, because here's what I want to share. And again, we'll get started here, deliver capabilities, but I want you to hear this. The next 5 years of your life is going to happen anyway. If you decide not to go for your dreams, decide to not scale the business, to not take uncomfortable action and move forward, or not show the world who you are, guess what? You're still going to be let down. You're still going to have stuff go sideways. You're still going to feel sometimes scared and fearful. You're going to have the thing not work out. Like, all of it's going to happen anyway. So if you're going to deal with crap, if you're going to move forward in life, you might as well move forward in the thing that can buy you back what you're supposed to be so you can own your future. I mean, at the end of the day, isn't that what we all want? We want to own our future, own our time, own our income, own our ability to do things when we want, how to do it, or when we want, how we want, right? Because if we don't own it, someone else is gonna.
Yes. And I don't want someone telling me you have to be there from 9 to 5. Yeah. And if you leave 5 minutes early, you better clock out and we're deducting your salary.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I want to take a moment to go with my kids when they're having a breakdown or they're doing the things like that's my goal, is to be the best mom I can. And working a 9 to 5 job, and that's not like, I've done it before and some people love that, but for me, that wasn't my thing.
Yeah. And,
Wasn't.
and you know, and you know what, one more thing before we get to some tactical stuff is really identify what success means to you at this phase of your life, right this minute. Because success in my 20s, 30s, and 40s was completely different than what it is now. I have a 14-year-old and a 12-year-old, and they're with me exactly half the time. 1 week on, 1 week off, right? And I have a 1-year-old. Um,
You have cute kids, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. But when the kids are with me, no one brings them to school and no one picks them up from school but me, because I know that's not going to be around forever. And the truth is, I make my kids lunches every morning. My wife is an overachiever. She gets mad, but I just feel that I'm like creating this thing for them. I write them a little note still. I'm sure my 14-year-old's like, oh, dad, right? But like, I want to drive them to school because it's the moments to school that we have the best conversation. I want to pick them up from school because it's the moment driving home from school. What success means to me at this phase of my life is that no one tells me that I can't go pick up my kids. At 2:45, I leave every single day to go get them. That when I'm done here today, my daughter pitches softball, I'm going to go out and catch for her for an hour. Like, that's success to me. Being a man who's growing continues so I could be a better husband to the most amazing woman on the planet. That's important to me. Being a good team leader, being a dear friend, that's success for me. And I'll fight and die for it. I'll chew through a brick wall if I have to. So identify what success means to you and don't let anything get in your way.
Agreed. Oh,
Okay.
that's so good. That's so good. Okay, so now we have to dive into this. So, I teach selling physical products online.
Mhm.
That's what I've done.
Yep.
And of course, I teach. So I see the digital side of it too. And because I've been in both physical and digital, I've seen something so powerful about mixing the two together when you've got a physical product and a digital product. So, will you dive into how this can be possible? And then, of course, we'll talk the confidence of selling digital
Yeah.
products, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So I want you to think, I want you to hear this and I want you to write it down. You're listening right now, literally put it in your phone notes or write this down. Knowledge is the new currency. Just a simple fact. Knowledge is the new currency. When people want to go faster, quicker, better, the world has shifted, and a whole new generation, like my daughter at 14, the whole world has shifted to, if I want more knowledge, do I go back to college? Do I try to figure out on my own? No, the world goes, who's already doing this? Who knows about it? And who's willing to share it? Give you an example. My son has eczema. When my wife started figuring out, and she's obsessive and she's working on the internal, external, all the pieces, my wife went on a platform, in fact, we created, but my wife found a mom who had a son with eczema, spent 2 years obsessing over it and found a way to heal him naturally. My wife went and got that information. She bought the course. She didn't ask for it for free, sat at our kitchen table, completely geeked out over it and downloaded the whole thing. My daughter loves to do art. Mm-hmm. Now, here's the thing. She has bought art supplies online. She has bought canvases online. She bought paints online. But you know what she did 3, 4, maybe 5 weeks ago now? She found one of those suppliers who supplied an online teaching a class on how to, through Zoom, how to do oil painting, because she wanted to figure it out. So not only did she buy the product, she signed up and paid $97. And she, in our kitchen, had 2 cameras set up, one showing hers and one on what she was watching. And she took an online course. Who is she going to buy her supplies from as she moves forward? My daughter's 14. What if she paints for the next 40 years? Who's she going to buy supplies from? Someone who just sells at the big box store or just sells a product? Or Anthony? His name is Anthony, a long Italian last name. What about, or Anthony, the guy that not only sells her the product, but also gave her knowledge to do it better and quicker. And that's everything possible. I just invested in an oatmeal company. It's a really natural oatmeal. They fill it with oils and chia and flaxseed and all this great stuff. And you know why I invested in them? Because I said, what's your differentiator? What are you going to be different? He said, every single week, I'm going to be going live and teaching what are the benefits, how they can be more optimized. And right now I'm currently building a course on how to make your morning, set your morning up for success. And I'm going to apply this course. If they get, if they go on my auto ship, I am going to give them this course on maximizing their mornings. And I'm going to go live for them once a week to train them. Once he said that, I'm like, I'm investing in this company. When people find the magic between the product and then the knowledge that can allow that product to be maximized, or listen, sometimes your product could be anything. It could be yoga, but you're helping people with mindset on a regular basis. Listen, I'm in the knowledge industry. It completely changed my life. Self-education, learning from those who've already been there is the biggest game changer in my life.
Agreed.
But every product I've ever created in my life, even if I sell a book, it comes with a digital product. If I sell a course, it comes with like everything is attached, even when I sell products. And the companies I lean towards are exactly that.
Now, have you seen a deeper connection when your customers will buy that book and then buy a digital product? Do you feel there's a deeper connection to help grow your tribe, to get customers?
Not even a question. Write this down too. We are socially distanced, right? And even when things cure, people are feeling weird. We're going to be socially distanced for a while. If we're socially distanced, hear this, we must be virtually connected. And we are going to virtually connect to the people who supply us capabilities. Knowledge is the new currency. Connection is the new currency. A great Facebook group, a course, a membership site. All of those things attached to a product are where people are going to elevate to. I mean, think about that was a great question, Alison. Think of something really subtle. There are transactional businesses and there are relationship businesses.
Yes.
I would bet to say if you think of your favorite restaurant, it not only has the food you like, it has the people you like. Mm-hmm. It's like Cheers. If you're old enough to remember Cheers, everybody's glad, everybody knows your name and they're glad you came.
Yep.
Do you want to just be the supplier of a product or the supplier of a product wrapped with knowledge, a digital product, one that, and here's the cool part, adding it doesn't cost you more. You don't have to put more things in inventory. You don't have to buy more product. You just have to share what's going on in here or be the reporter of other people's knowledge. Some people aren't the expert. We just become the reporter of that.
I love that you said that. I call it the concert experience. You can get a CD. Okay, we're going back old school to CDs, right? We could buy New Kids on the Block for $15, or we go to the concert and it costs us $150. Why? It's because of the experience. And you only get to listen to the songs once at a concert, but yet people are willing to pay 10 times as much. And so I call that the concert experience. Okay, now I'm going to put you on the spot. Can I do a hot spot with you?
Let's do it.
Okay, what would you recommend if someone is selling clothing or earrings? How could they attach, what type of digital product idea could they attach to it?
Think about it. Clothing and okay, so I have a 14-year-old daughter and I have a beautiful wife who both, when they're buying stuff, they still want to know how to match it together. Like my daughter will see something like, how did they put all that together? How they put that cool jewelry with that circle and then this? Mm-hmm. She's always online trying to find ways to match and look the best without looking like she tried too hard. I know that's my wife and my daughter, both are the same. They want to look like, oh, this old thing, but it looks amazing. Like, isn't that what everybody wants with clothes? You want it to be like, oh my God, Alison, how does all that just match so perfectly? And then you're like, oh, it's just threw this on. Imagine selling jewelry or clothing. And it also came with a quick little 15 minutes a week, a mini course on how to put things together or how to take what you currently have and blend it with the new clothes so it looks fresh again. Like I'm just sharing, all that really does as well is it builds your relationship with them. My daughter is going to buy paint from Anthony forever because not only did he supply the paint, he supplied a better way to use the paint. So not only do you supply the clothes and the jewelry, how do you supply a better way to use the clothes and jewelry? How do you supply a better way to maintain the clothes so they last longer or use it unique? Like that's the kind of stuff the world needs because what is everybody doing right now? They're home on their computer. And if they're not surfing crappy stuff, people want knowledge. When they run out, they fall into other traps, right? So be the person that is willing to supply. And here's the cool part. If you're not someone who's like, I don't want to be on camera, I don't want to do that. That's why today's like Jenna Kutcher, a dear friend of both of ours. Mm-hmm. Jenna, every course, every digital product she creates, her face isn't on it. She goes to screencast. She shows visuals and pictures while she talks to the camera. And if she messes up, nobody saw her lips, she can go edit that part out, right? There's so many unique ways to match your personality if you don't get in the mindset, that's not for me. Because I think if you get in that mindset, that's not for me, you're missing out on a massive opportunity. Forbes says that this industry, the knowledge industry, the digital product industry is heading towards $1 billion a day. It's one of the fastest growing industries in the world. Think about that. By 2025, they predict $1 billion spent every day on digital products and knowledge at home. It's like, you could either say that's not for me, or you can be an investigator. You can open your mind, you can explore to see how it can fit your personality.
Totally. So I have to give you an example, and I'm going to do a case study in a couple weeks in a podcast. So all of you that are
Oh, I
listening,
love it.
listen to this. We actually sold a free planner, and then our average order cart value was $28. And so people are like, how do you get your margins up? How do you actually make more money when things are slowing down? And so being able to add a digital piece to it can help with that money keep coming in. And so that's why I'm so excited to bring you in today, is because of this information.
Well, and Alison, I want to back you up there. My last book, Millionaire Success Habits, I gave that book away for free if people covered the shipping and handling, right? On the way in, that's a physical book that I have to mail to them. I would absolutely lose money on that. There's hands that it was $7.95 to ship it out. It cost me about $7.95 to make the book, ship it out, holding, the warehouse to put it in the box and all that kind of stuff. I wouldn't make a dime. I'd actually lose money. And that's not the cost of the advertising. But after they got my book, I said, hey, you got the greatest book in the world being sent to you. How would you like my special quick course on being productive? If you feel like you put things off or you procrastinate, I got a little training I called Productivity Mastery to show you how to get 4-6 extra hours a week and work on the things that move the needle in your life. If you your order, I could send it to you for $97. That order allows me to afford to give books away, because some people are like, heck yes. How much did that extra product cost me? Nothing. How much value am I delivering? Massive, because I'm really good at being productive, right? So I took a book, a physical product, added a digital component, and it made me massively profitable.
Yes. And then that way you can get more products out into the world, because you have the money to get into ads, to pay influencers, to give more products away. Okay. Another question that I have, let's talk about confidence. I know you talked a little bit about how Jenna doesn't show her face. I've actually seen people do just hands. They just show their hands.
Yep.
If they're doing glitter creations and they sell glitter or DIY type things, how do you teach, or how do you help someone with the confidence to be able to teach or educate or sell a digital product when they're like, I don't know what to do with it. I don't want to be the face. And I know we talked about that one, but there's so many limiting beliefs around that. So let's break through those.
I'm going to I might go down a different road than you're expecting at first, but I want you to think about this. You're home listening, and picture yourself at 20 years old. Just picture yourself at 20 years old. Picture what you'd wear at 20. Picture where you were at 20. Were you living with your parents? Were you off at college? Picture an area where you would sit at the floor of your mom's and dad's house, or a park bench at college, or outside where you work. Picture that. And now I want you to picture this. I want you to picture that you have 2 hours to go spend with your 20-year-old self. 2 hours. Picture the sundress or the clothes you had on, and you get to sit down and your 20-year-old self is sitting in that spot, and you get to walk up and say, hi, I'm you in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, whatever it is. Shh, I only have 2 hours and I have to share this with you. Think of the stories you would tell. Think of the knowledge you would share. Think of oh my God, when it comes to relationships, you deserve way more. Do not settle. And do not, or when it comes to going after your dreams, do not let someone else steer your ship. You're the captain of your ship, or whatever it is you want to share. When it comes to business, don't just settle and go do this. You could start your own business. You have it in you. And here's the 4 things you do when you start your business. You do this, you work on marketing, you do this, you do that. Okay, when it comes to life and your health, do this. I mean, I want to ask you, I have goosebumps thinking about it because I can visualize my 20-year-old self, but I want to ask you right now, would you have confidence to talk to that person, your 20-year-old self? You know what it's going to do for their life. I mean, I've done this. Tony Robbins and I did a challenge, and I was on the challenge in January, and there was 180,000 people plus live on the line, 800,000 people in the challenge. And I shared something very similar. I said, tell me right now, what would that be worth to you to go spend 2 hours with your 20-year-old self? And there was only 2 answers: millions or priceless, right? And it was like millions, priceless, right? So think about that, and think about where your confidence would be. Now we have to back up and realize there are so many people out there right now that are like your 20-year-old self. They could be 40, they could be 60, but they're yearning for the knowledge that you already have. They're going to make mistakes if you don't help them. They're going to fail if you don't help them. They're going to buy the wrong product if you don't help them. They're going to stop buying your product and buy someone else's if you don't help them. We look through the lens of confidence, like people are out there to judge us, or we're looking through the lens of I was shy in school. I was the biggest introvert you could ever imagine in school. But I don't look through the lens of I'm trying to sell something or I'm trying to force teaching. I look through the lens of that I don't share what I know, I'm doing people a disservice. Mm-hmm. And when you look at it as selling or offering or teaching is a service that you're giving back and contributing, then that fear melts away. Because at the end of the day, what happens is when we lose our confidence, we're focusing on what could go wrong. We're focusing on people judging us. But what if you just focused on, and there's 3 steps. I want you to write this down. If I was teaching something immediately, if someone said, I went through a divorce, I didn't plan on it. I went through it. I was so worried about my kids, but there was a moment that I shifted. There was a moment I realized that my kids needed to come first, that I wanted to do a child-centered divorce. And at that moment, I switched every emotion in my body to compassion. Getting upset because of what was going on in the divorce, compassion. Money, compassion. Kids, compassion. When I did that, there was about 10 steps I did. I ended up being better friends with my ex than ever before. She's thriving in an amazing relationship. I'm married. My kids are way better off now because they see love. But I could tell you that story, just like you could tell me your story about your product, about your service, what you do. Teaching is about telling a story and what you learned from it, and then teach them a tool. I could tell you that what I did with my children's mom is I did 7 things. One of them was I actively listened. I started listening, not just telling her what I was feeling. I built a real friendship. I was flexible. I supported her. I promised I would never talk about her ever behind her back to our kids. I did 7 things that literally do it. And I could teach you those 7. I don't have a course on how to do a child-centered divorce, but I could tell you the story of it. I could teach you the things I did, and then I can go to ask you to take an action. I call that a story, teach, tool model. If you think about the couple things I shared, you're providing a service, you're helping your 20-year-old self, but you're helping other people that need it. All of a sudden you feel obligated, not scared. And then when you say, oh, I could tell a story, I could tell what I learned from it, and I could tell them what to do, then all of a sudden it just takes away the fear. It's not it's easy for your subconscious to make that an excuse, but it's not true. It's a fictional belief that's held you back from expanding your business, expanding your income, and expanding your impact.
Oh, that was so good. That actually more than answered the question that I was asking on the whole confidence, because make it about someone else. Quit thinking about yourself.
Exactly.
Given your journey because someone else needs to hear it. Oh, I love that. And thank you for being so open about the divorce, and kudos to you for always speaking highly of your ex-wife. That didn't quite happen with me growing up.
Yes, neither did me.
The other.
My parents hated each other. And in fact, you want me to be completely transparent? I married my wife a few years ago, and my parents have been divorced for 49 years. We got married in Italy, in Lake Como. And I had to fly my parents on 2 different planes and put them in 2 separate hotels because after 49 years, they still can't be around each other. So not quite the example I grew up with either, Alison. So know that I feel you there.
Kudos for you for figuring it out, though. And your kids. Oh, Dean, nice job. Just for your kids' sake. Well, yeah, you were the kid too, right? We know what it felt like. So thank you for sharing that. Okay, you have something amazing coming up. Do you want to share what that's about?
Yeah. So I told you before, we did a big challenge in January, and that was about mindset and health and shifting the mindset for a shifting world. So Tony and I got together with some amazing friends, you're one of them, and decided to do the Own Your Future Challenge. And that's what we're doing May 11th. Literally put that in your calendar right now, because I'll tell you a couple of reasons. One, if we don't own our future, someone else is gonna. And there's no one coming to save us. You know that. If you're in business, you're starting, you realize there's nobody fixing it. We're the fixers. And isn't it the most amazing feeling in the world when you gain the capabilities and then you take the uncomfortable action? And let me tell you what it is. Over 5 days, we're going to pull back the curtain on this industry. We're going to help you shift beliefs, but then we're going to show you what it is you can offer to the world, who to offer it to, how to offer it, how to elegantly sell it without selling. All of that's going to happen over 5 days. And it's not kind of free. It's totally free. So all you have to do is go to ownit39.com, and you can reserve your spot. But here's the cool part. When you get there, wait till you see all the amazing guests we have lined up. All, let me just say it, hell-bent on pulling back the curtain and exposing what they've done to shift into the digital world, how they've created freedom, but not just raw testimonials. Like, they're all there to share. And let me just say it like it is. This could have never happened if COVID didn't exist, because everybody was out doing their own things. My partner and friend, Tony Robbins, is on the road usually 260 days a year. Brennan Burchard and Jenna Kutcher and the Boss Babe brand, Natalie and Danielle, and so many incredible people. Glow. Who else do we have? We have Shailene Johnson. We have, I don't know if you know these names or not, but they're really solid human beings.
Yeah, they are. Who
once felt like you felt and shifted and were able to scale using the digital economy that you could bolt onto your current business or make it a separate piece. And it costs you nothing to investigate, to enroll. And the last thing I'm going to say, sometimes when things are free, I love the saying, when people don't pay, they don't pay attention. I remember in high school, the kids that their parents just bought them the car, it was always trashed and they either got in an accident. Then there were the other kids like me that had to work to buy my own car. I polished that thing with a toothbrush. Like, if you don't pay, you don't pay attention and you don't take care of things. It's free. So what I'm going to ask you to do is, when you go register, pretend you paid $10,000 for this, because in a real world, an event like this, you could pay $10,000 for it. And if you trick your brain that you paid $10,000, you'll show up with pen in hand with your journal, and you'll realize this isn't just a bunch of great people talking. This is people delivering you capabilities that you can utilize right now. And the other thing I'd say is, grab a friend, grab an accountability partner. Because again, when the world opens up, I doubt we'll ever be able to do this again. So I'm so stoked for this, Alison. It's going to be something really special. And we're shooting to lock arms. We're shooting for and hoping to lock arms and get 1 million people to join. So get your friends and family to join.
Yes. So ownit39.com. Go register. I'm going to be there. I've got it set on my alarm on my phone because I don't want to miss it. The speakers that you have lined up are just all the information that they're going to share. I don't want to miss it. So yeah. I've got my alarm set.
And here's the cool part. When I'm not speaking, I will be taking insane amounts of notes. Like, that's just me, and never stop being a learner. You know, people always say to me, God, you still go to masterminds, you still buy courses, you still obsess on books. It's like, yeah, because if you're not climbing, you're sliding. And yesterday's news is yesterday. I don't want to be the guy that used to be successful. So how do you stay at current and ahead? You learn from people who are thriving right this moment.
Agreed. Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing this time. I know we went a little bit over.
Oh, no, all good.
And I
all
really,
good. This was fun.
Really appreciate that, because all your listeners that are listening to this right now, go sign up. Dean is going to walk you through how to understand the digital world so that you can own your own future, because you can. All right. I hope this podcast episode is starting to get the wheels turning in your head about adding a digital knowledge form to your physical product to, of course, increase your margins, but it also helps serve your audience at such a higher level. So yeah, that's what this month of May is going to be about, how you can make this happen in your business as well. Let's dive into the top takeaways. I have 7 today for you. Okay, number 1, adding a knowledge piece to a digital or to a physical product can increase your margins greatly. Number 2, you can add a digital product in the form of a PDF, an ebook, video tutorials. Number 3, adding the digital part can serve your customers at a higher level. I know. Did you know that? I know you sell them more, they buy them, and they're going to consume your product the correct way. Or like the art kit example that Dean had, his daughter's learning how to do art quicker than if she just tried to figure it out herself or got lost in the world of YouTube University. All right, number 4, digital component to a physical product creates diehard fans as it increases connection. And number 5, connection is a new currency. Number 6, you don't have to be the face of your digital products if you don't want to. Yay. And then number 7, it's easy for your subconscious to make an excuse not to do this. So I really like that one, because how many times have we thought, oh yeah, that would be nice, and then we talk ourselves out of it 2 minutes later. Let's not do that. All right. I hope you love this podcast episode. Once again, get the ideas starting to roll around in your brain about how physical product on the front end is where customers buy quickly from, and then you can increase your margins with a digital knowledge type product on the end. And then we'll dig into next week's podcast episode of how I did the planner for free. And I'll talk about the shipping and handling piece to it and how my free product on the front end, the free physical product, actually led to 28. I actually checked the other day and it was $32 per average order. I want to show you that process so you can implement that in your business as well. Serve your customers at a higher level. It feels really, really good. Okay, friend, I will see you next week. Bye.